Well, we're live now. So, hello, Internet.
We're professionals. How are you?
I never said we
We're professionals?
Who said that?
Exactly.
When did this happen? What the fuck? Be my
So
life.
I like
then-
onions.
Who wants to roll me a d6?
I believe Spook does.
Core.
Haha.
Do it. Oh, Nemo's done it. Let's see. Actually, that will result in Nemo telling us what happened 3 weeks ago in our last episode of Blood.
I thought Spook was doing it, but okay.
Yeah, that's the d6 for. Because the 6 of you fuckers.
Now let's see if I remember. We got out of the mountain, having freed the, well, not freed, but we're having the Drow move on, and they've agreed to let go of all their slaves and all that. We had a nice little chit chat with our captive dragon friend for her own safety, and you know, a lot of conversation happened that Grunt didn't care about. And we decided we need to go up to the top of this mountain to get some fresh drinking. And I think that was about it.
Fresh drinking wars.
Toblerone.
This is the problem with trying to make us do the recap.
Yeah, you're all horrible at it, except you, Blue. I just hate putting you on the spot every week.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I can read mine
But
if
you
you
do
want.
enough trauma as is. Of course you have Mr. Greed mug. Fucking hell.
Well, yeah.
He needs a big mug for big drinks.
The big
Sorry.
boy.
Here's a recap by Nosdo. Story time happened where one chick came, people were confused. I was. What I know now is that Creosote is apparently a dick. We're being watched. There is a full civilization of Drow going to the surface. One she's sad about his sons. Can't remember very well why. I'm a pawn. Dale's a bitch. Not sure why this time. And Bukaki's the younger brother.
Weirdly enough, I think that does actually tick all the boxes though of what happened last
That
time.
takes a large portion of the
I mean,
boxes.
it kind of does, yeah. That's...
Oh, and also we're on our way to Toblerone Mountain. That was the other thing. I forgot to write that
Damara's
down.
going to publish Blood and Sand, the official novel, and Nosdo's going to get the Ladybird version. Ladybird Book of BNS.
Sounds about right.
Alistair
Yes.
fell. Alistair is sad. Alistair has
Bull
a spell.
and shit.
Alistair is happy now.
Hey, my recaps are pretty good with Zero. Grunt, not so much.
Grunt remembers battles. There
I
was
need
no
a pencil
battles.
to keep these notes going.
So then, you have all awoken. Your watches have come to a somewhat uneventful end. Well, physically uneventful.
Fuck.
You're all now awake, rising up, getting ready for your trek up the mountain. Does anyone want to have anything prepared in particular, spell casting wise, or anything like that, or anything they want to do before they begin moving?
I prepare breakfast.
I mean, I think there's only one person who can prepare spells.
I want to reset all of my stuff so that I've got it for today. There we go.
That's probably
Action
a good
surges,
I-
deaths, wraith vision,
I
Jesus,
haven't
you have a
mentioned
lot
it.
of
I was
swords.
cleaning my armor today as well.
You spend more time cleaning your armor, okay.
Yeah. What the
Um,
fuck?
Speaking of, while I'm here, I've got apparently 4 scrolls of protection that I have no use.
Scrolls of protection.
Who can
Yeah, we
use them?
looted them. And use for them. Does anyone want to take them from me?
It depends on what kind.
Yeah, are there different
Just
kinds?
scrolls of protection.
Can I use it?
When they were when we were handing out random loot bits, we had 4 scrolls of protection.
Is that a scroll of the spell? Or is that an actual item?
Presumably,
It's
it
on
just
the other
says
side of the
scrolls of protection 4.
I mean, there is.
It might have just not been identified yet or something. I don't know.
I'll have them.
No, Dan, you've got 4 scrolls of protection.
Sweet.
I'm only remembering with the handout that you guys have that the only scrolls you currently have, you have a scroll of Aid, Skywrite, and not one to scoff at, Abi Dalzim's Horrid Will.
Sounds fine.
I know that I've given any scrolls I've got to Shimmer, so they'll be in Shimmer's.
Oh yeah, you also have a scroll of Reincarnation
Yeah.
for the just in case.
I think a lot of these loot handouts in one of the evenings need to just be condensed into one. Because
Not it.
having all of our items spread over about 4 handouts is confusing.
Roll of protection. Whatever the fuck that means.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll
no
begin
idea.
doing some checking around the base of the mountain to see if I can see where other people have maybe gone in the past. Previous
That's
events might be
Yeah.
a good place to start.
So are you
Some
trying
sort
to
of
track where other people have gone, or are you trying to investigate for any signs of faith or otherwise?
I'll go with people. I know what people look like.
Yeah, you're not a holy person that much, so faith maybe is
Make
your
a
strong suit.
survival check then, please, Mr. Darkwood. Surprising no one.
Good start.
I'm back.
Never left. Grab the place handbook.
Okay. So, Alistair, aside from, it doesn't take you long. You begin making your way down into the valley, which seems to have the only real, either worn through time or through use, kind of actually staircase upwards into the mountains from this position. At the very base of it, you're looking about, and there's very low grass on all sides, maybe like only halfway up the shin height. And as you're looking around, looking for tracks, looking for if there's anybody recently traveled through or anything similar like that, you do find the remains of a person, a humanoid.
Unusual to find so far out. What state is the body in? Is it recent or
Make a medicine check.
Needy.
a medicine?
Yeesh.
That's alright.
Well, from your own experiences out in the wild, you're able to determine that this was... You can't quite tell because of the state of damage to the head if it's an elf or a human, but it's in that ballpark. The skull has essentially been crushed from both sides by what looks like a large bite. And it looks like they're probably dead about 2 days.
Oh,
That's really
very
recent.
recent.
You're really getting the pang. Now that you're even close, you realize the pang of decay is... Oddly enough, the person was not eaten. There's no, like, say, other evident bites or, say, scavengers or anything like that, which for you, you know, is quite odd because even nighttime scavengers will tend to pick.
Okay, I'm gonna spend a minute to use my primeval awareness to detect to see if any monstrosities are within 5 miles of where I currently am, and I'm gonna try and think about, is there any creature that I would know of that kills for sport rather than food?
Make
You.
make a nature check for beasts first.
I am going to possibly start following up the mountain after him.
You've
See the
only
body.
started at base, but
This
yes.
is at the base, he's
Well,
sort of scouting around.
Oh,
the
it's
field.
at the base. Okay. Well, I'm gonna be cast Speak with the Dead.
Okay, well, first I'm just going to hit up Spook's bit because
Yeah.
that's a very good roll. Alistair, you're aware of smaller animals that would kill for sport, like say weasels and things like that. That are actually like will just go into a field and wipe out a whole flock of low ground birds and things like that. But larger animals, there's very rarely things that can afford to exert the energy of a hunt without feeding as well. And you don't know of any creature that would have a bite force like this that wouldn't also feed on.
So this is something.
And your
new.
primeval awareness is for anything within 5 miles of.
Any monstrosities? Because that's the only thing that's
Need
my
to check
favorite
something
enemy.
real.
You're not primeval there, Sanji.
Nah, but I'm a monstrosity, alright?
No, you're not.
Between half a mile and 2 miles up, you get maybe half a dozen pings on the mountainside that are just what you get from your immediate vicinity. And while focusing, you can tell that there are things maybe deeper within the points of mountains where there are other monstrosities. But it's more of like, say, rather than a direct ping, it's more like a sense that there is more hidden away within the mountain.
Okay, so it is somewhat dangerous territory. Okay. There's stuff around.
But almost one thing that you're noticing with your with all those fucking rolls as well, it's essentially at maybe about 3.75 miles like above ground level. There's nothing else after that. You can get the sense of monster because it's blocked by, correct me if I'm wrong, but is it blocked by terrain like stone and things like that?
There's no description of it on this. But
Yeah,
it is
because things
obviously
like
working.
divine sense are blocked by things that are full cover, so that's why.
No, it doesn't say.
Okay, that's fine. So you do get those pings, but essentially about nearly 4 miles up, there's just a dead cutoff, and there's no other monstrosities beyond that point. Whereas otherwise, it's like pockmarked with dots of them.
Okay, so we're talking maybe land feeding monstrosities. Anything that's airborne is probably nesting fairly low down. So it is somewhat dangerous territory around here.
Yes.
Okay.
How tall is this mountain, by the way, in terms of miles?
It goes up beyond the clouds, and the clouds are about 20,000 kilometers or 20,000 feet up.
Jesus. It's a big mountain.
Okay, are we ready to move out, or is anybody
Any
doing
empirical
anything?
measurement to figure
this
out how
morning?
far 20,000?
Well, I was going to speak to the corpse.
Oh yeah, 'Cause I've identified a route in which we can go. So whenever you guys are ready.
We'll be relying on you for this.
So you cast Speak with taking out your reagents, and you begin creating your circle around them, and you kneel down and focus your spell. You guys watch as the head almost reinflates out, but it's in this weird, almost like parts of bone have been shattered in a way that it's more like floating on a airbag or like a balloon, kind of just like barely holding it up, and just look straight at you, Buckley.
What happened here?
I was thrown down.
Again?
He was thrown down.
Just thrown down.
Okay.
I fell.
Here, I didn't understand that part. All right.
Sounds like a you problem.
Yeah.
What
See.
threw you? I suppose is a good question, if I may suggest.
I was gonna say because the impact does not seem to have crushed both sides of his head.
Yeah.
I feel
No,
he's
there
crushed
is.
the other
There's
side.
definitely trauma from hitting the ground, but it definitely was not the most obvious or fatal.
Well, that is somewhat of an obvious thought.
Hmm?
He could have been crushed by some sort of giant and then thrown down. I can't check for giants.
But you can check for teeth marks,
Oh, yeah, it was a jaw.
Oh, no,
I
giant-
say a jaw.
because
Mm,
teeth
No, that's fair.
they puncture. A
Mm.
hand would crush.
That's fair. Alright, alright. Mrs. Giant.
What threw you down?
Just watch it again. The monsters that reside above the great cats. They sounded like people.
Sounded like people. From above. So it was dropped.
What did it look like?
Like a large mountain lion.
There you go.
Hmm.
That narrows it down.
Yeah, that narrows it down quite a lot. Thanks, Buckley.
Yep. I don't know what we're looking at. Alright.
Yes!
Who's read the monster manual?
Just need that picture of that old white guy like this. I have helped.
I mean, can you think of I might as well use all of the questions, so if you have a good idea in character.
Yeah, 'cause we still got 2 questions.
That you would.
Why were you here?
There we go.
Way out.
Guess that, Buckley?
Yeah.
I came to work to do the pilgrimage up the mountain.
Pilgrimage.
Well, it is a holy place.
Yeah, so people come here for religious things. Pilgrimages, yeah. Makes sense.
Hey Buckley, does your speak with dead like allow him to, if we gave him a pen and paper, draw a map? No?
No.
Just trying to be resourceful here.
Literally just basically lets the jaw move, the body can't move.
And then we could give the mouth a
Yeah.
pencil. What is it? You get one more question?
Yeah, we got one more.
Was he alone?
That's actually a good idea, yeah. Were you alone? Excuse me.
In character.
Were you alone? I can speak weird too, buddy. You fucking flathead.
After a moment, it's lying there and pauses. I was the only one who ran and got the others.
Okay, so there's other bodies that we're going to be finding on the trek. At least that gives me something to look for.
See, I thought about, and also that's it. So.
Oh.
Oh.
Powering down.
Cool.
I
Unfortunately,
wonder if I.
it doesn't-
Nah.
What?
I was like, what if I revivify? No.
You then just bring him back, just be like, hey, I had more questions. I'm not
I have
done
a
with
question,
you.
goddamn.
You die when I say you can die. I'm Buckley Calibra, and welcome to
Revive him.
Mastermind.
Fucking
Oh, okay. Is that,
goat.
can you draw us a map? Oh, yeah,
Don't
yeah.
even joke.
Oh, okay. You're doing that now.
Unfortunately, it doesn't
Yeah.
give us help in finding the next bodies because it was dropped here. It's difficult to trace things from the air. So.
Well, it limits it down to.
Well, if we
this
do
sort
a
of
bit of
face the
algebra.
mountain.
Okay, well let's head up this part of the mountain and then let's have a check, see if there was some sort of struggle up above. Maybe then we can find some tracks to see where he fled from. It's a start.
I mean, I guess we should follow their path to start with because they obviously knew of a way up. But do
Yeah.
we want to follow that the entire way? Because we may just encounter the creature that they encountered.
Cool. I see this as an absolute win.
Yeah, of course you would. Yeah.
We're here to get to the top, not to hunt things.
But we can do both.
We can hunt things on the way back down.
Why down?
Because if we fall, it'll speed up the trip.
I won't fall anymore.
Grunt just signs in in the snow. Things will find you. You don't have to go.
Actually, Grunt, make a nature check.
I'm not been to the colder climates.
There's not much alive up there, so they get hungry. They'll find.
It's a fair point. I might have to find and kill things with fur.
And nature
Boots
check.
with the fur.
Nature.
But yeah, no. I also kind of thought, well, if I revive them, they're gonna be horribly in pain. That was the other thing of like, just
Well, whoops! Clicked the wrong thing. Did that roll?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
nature
check.
check I wanted.
Is there snow on the ground? I didn't think there was snow on the ground. We're still in the desert, aren't we?
You're still in the desert.
I meant on
Fire.
up on the mountain.
There will be snow as you go. With the description you heard from the individual, you begin thinking back to your times when you were younger, traveling with the tribes, and one thing you always had to be cautious about out in the wilds was crag cat, a type of pseudo alpha predator. Aside from things like airborne things like wyverns and dragons, they were one of the more prolific and dangerous natural creatures up in the mountains. But
You said crag cat, did you?
yes, crag cat.
Right.
But the thing you know of crag cats are that they almost never leave bodies. They almost pick and clean everything they've got in their hands.
I relayed this information.
You are also aware that if somebody from the tribe has gone missing and you begin hearing their voices in a blizzard, you leave them for dead. Because you presume that that's not them using their voice.
Once again, relay this information saying, noting that's one of the many reasons we don't.
I'm interested to see how he managed to relay the message crag cats in sign language, considering we don't know what a crag cat is. So we spend 5 minutes having
rock
Pictionary. 4 letters, starts with C.
So basically, it could either be pebble kitten or boulder lion. You're not.
So we've got these Balboa cats.
Balboa. Yeah.
Very good. God damn elementals.
Okay, let's check to see if we can find some sort of struggle up on the mountain. We're looking for either some sort of crag cat, manticore, or I'm thinking it may be some sort of flying activity like a harpy or a periton. I don't know.
We've encountered harpies on mountains before, so
There's a possibility.
no, there's a possibility. We've dealt with them.
Don't know, so signs of pace yourselves. You lot don't look like you'll do well climbing a mountain.
Quick question: the hell's a manticore?
We fought one in. Is this as Nosdo or Stanju?
Which one do you think?
They're both the fucking same at this point.
Yeah, really.
I know what a manticore is,
Oh.
but I don't know what a manticore is.
Manticore, it's a red lion that flies.
Good enough.
Spiky.
Watch out for the tail.
Why?
Spiky.
It's got pokey bits on the end.
Oh,
It ignores armor.
What?
I mean, alright. I guess I'll have to kill it quickly then.
Insight check.
They're best friends with
Yeah,
those
yeah,
monsters.
Nah, I believe him.
So, you have a bit of information given to you about what you think you might encounter. And you begin making your way up. Do you use the
Do we use the what,
We
sorry?
use a what, sorry?
path?
I suppose we might as well. In theory, the base should be the easiest part. It's when we get higher, it's going to get harder and more dangerous.
Yeah, stick to the path to begin with. It's when we start getting up to the top that I'm assuming that the path is going to be somewhat hidden, hence why this place is mythical. But for the
Might as well start with the path.
Yeah.
There must be some sort of known end goal to go for, otherwise why would people pilgrimage here?
Yeah, you never know. There could be shrines or something dedicated partway up the mountain that people go to.
If we can find them, that'd be good, because they may provide a safe place to have a rest.
Hmm.
We're not going to climb this thing in one day, that's for sure.
Run signs that you would strongly advise against it. Things that try to climb the mountain often get climbing sickness.
Yeah.
She seems to not really know what climbing sickness is, just that people who climb the mountain often get climbing sickness. They just start suddenly being unwell.
People who climb mountains get drunk. Direct
Basically.
link to potatoes.
That's not
The
how
lions
it
don't have
works.
this problem. Other things that go up the mountain will suddenly start getting sick, and she's just like, yep, that's a thing that happens.
So then, you begin making your ways. Who's keeping watch and who is going to try to keep on the path as you?
I think Alistair's probably going to be leading. I guess me and Buckley are the good
I'll
people.
keep a watch. Fuck you.
Okay.
Okay.
That'd be keeping watch.
Okay, Stanji's
With
keeping
my
watch with
12 fucking perception, Sanji.
Do you want me to percept check?
This is where Statue
Yeah.
looks at his couch sheet and he's like, "Where's the perception stat?
That's not
I got
bad.
this."
I just rolled bad.
Buckley, you also. I know Del said it, but fuck it, give her a break. Buckley.
Why did that give me a... Oh, I rolled a 3.
Grunt's gonna keep an eye more on the party than what's going on around.
Yeah, you're going to keep an eye and make sure when you see the telltale signs of fatigue beginning to kick in. Alistair, give me a survival check as you go.
I'm gonna be okay. I've got my necklace of life support.
That doesn't make you more durable, that just means you can take.
Yeah, I've got a better con, but that's the same thing.
Is it though?
I mean, you resist poison and disease with your constitution, so exhaustion is resisted with constitution.
I'll con your institution.
America? What?
Alright.
I rolled
Anyway.
with a D20 what the DM rolled with a D100. Is this a good thing?
Wow, you're all 19.
I see you.
Jesus.
You've reached equilibrium.
He actually
Uh,
rolled a divine intervention for a level 31 character, so we're fucked.
Rocks fall.
Oh, that is a 6.
Crag cats fall. Everyone
Craig
dies.
Cat's fault. Oh, six things are about to appear.
Tell me when we get an estimated about 3 miles from the top of the mountain or get into.
Funny you should say that because you're not going to get to either of those first. Give you an idea, you might be able to get up 2 miles today because going up 2 miles is a hell of a lot harder than it is going across a plain for.
Oh yeah.
And maybe about an hour or so into your journey, you find that the path where you go is very much so winding. So you end up having to go from one point down below up onto the basically like almost like they're cresting atop themselves as they. And as you're traveling, maybe half an hour into your journey upwards, you're coming back across, and also you begin seeing the smear marks of blood on the ground, and what seems like some form of scuffle. And you look down and you realize that you're very. You could guess that probably this is where the person.
Okay. So the struggle occurred here. Is there a lot of blood or only a little?
Considering we had a watermelon effect with the brain, I'm going to say there's a lot.
Okay, so this was where he was actually killed and then was thrown from here. These sets of footprints indicate that he attempted to use some sort of haymaker attack. Didn't work out too well for him, as you can tell by the imprint left over this side. Yeah, that matches.
And then he really tried for the people's elbow over there. Didn't work at all.
Buckley used to be a monk, he knows these things.
So he died here and seemed to disintegrate into a pile of crap.
And then
There's been a murder.
hurled from the mountain. So the next step we need to find is how did he get to here? Because he said that he fled from the rest of the group.
Well, assuming that they took this path, he either came from where we just came from or from further up.
Look, a giant!
Well, I highly doubt that the crag thing brought him here just to burst his head and throw him off a
No,
mountain.
no, Sanji. Or Nazo, that's a rock.
No, that's Grunt.
Yeah, see, I was right. Fuck you.
So,
The little nose crinkle of.
Yeah, I'll let him have that one.
is there signs of footprints leading to the scuffle area? Is
Well,
there an
with a
imprint
fucking
mark
30
where he
survival
jumped
check
on?
as you're going along, you begin following it and you go pure Aragon in the fact of you can almost tell point to point. There hasn't been a lot of activity here in this recent time. And you begin looking and you realize you're going to need to be moving quickly as you begin just feeling a cold bit on the back of your neck. It's like almost like it begins watery and you look up and it's snow. It's beginning to fall here.
Oh. It's getting colder already. Okay, well we have an idea on where we're going now, and potentially we are near a spot where something was killed, so I'm gonna do this.
Very well noted. So, for
Thank God I got my
long
boots on.
how long does that last now? I must ask. Let's
An
see.
hour.
An hour.
Up to
Hour.
yeah.
As long as everything stays within 30 feet of you, or no, it's when you cast it and then they can fuck off past 30
Yeah.
feet.
Still for an hour though. Okay, so let's. We may as well stick to the path still. If there's still a path there, we'll stick to the path. For
There
now.
is, yes. It's just you realize at this point you're going to end up losing where the path is. Still, you're gonna know because it's still still worn into it, but the snow is going to cover any tracks after maybe another 30 minutes.
Okay.
But you make your way up, and after 10 minutes of traveling up, I'm going to say this would be Alistair, Dell, and Buckley would see it because your perceptions are all stupid. You do see a very, very small
Wall.
stone carving that's just in basically like a small alcove, not even maybe like 2 foot high, just embedded into the mountain.
I move towards it and then turn to Nosdo.
Touch.
You take 28. No.
28 points of Craig Cat.
20 crack cats.
Do I recognise it at all?
You
Yeah, you
don't
were born
recognize
here.
it, but it's dwarvish. It is dwarvish written on it.
What's it say?
Make an intelligence check
Barry was a
Now-
with advantage.
Okay.
Say friend in
Crag
English.
cat has appeared.
No, it's a Crag Cat. Look at it. It's disgusting.
A wild crag cat has appeared.
I mean, a 13.
So you begin reading it, and you realize that there's probably some old resemblance of maybe a dwarven outpost nearby, as it's essentially what you can only interpret to the others as hobo signs for dwarves, in that they're left out in the open, but only if you're a dwarf reading it you would recognize them. They're used a lot more with hill dwarves because it's small alcoves and areas around the hills that they tend to reside in and have safe spots. And it speaks about following the river's path, and when the sun eclipses the peak of the fall, that is where you'll find home.
I just read it and go to the party. My people are here. Or were. And I relay whatever it says.
They must have had a very serious crash then.
When the
Your
sun,
people are seafarers.
when
No-
the sun
no,
eclipses
no,
the peak
not
of the
that.
fall.
Not my close family.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe
Held
not
wolves.
that specific.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm a hill dwarf. Hill. Mountain. Those are assholes.
Bad example.
We still traverse.
how do you know
peaks.
that your people? They live on a different continent from where you're from.
History.
It's
You know,
it's
I know
ancestral,
when-
Alistair.
Look, alright? You know shit about swamps. I know shit about dwarves. Leave it.
Sure.
We're gonna come across American Western dwarves here, and he's like a Slav.
Howdy, y'all!
Eastern
What
dwarf.
y'all dwarves be doing here?
Look,
No, it'll
Yeah.
be
because
it'll be
one
the
is
boy.
guy from Texas and the other guy's from New Jersey doesn't mean they can't speak the same language. They're just having difficulty understanding each other. We'll be fine.
Somehow his
I argue that's
analogy
the
makes
definition
sense.
of having difficulty.
I mean, he's not fucking wrong. I mean,
Cool. Well, if we meet any of these dwarves, you'll have to do all the talking.
They can probably speak common.
Doesn't matter.
Dwarves aren't that
I can speak
stupid.
dwarvish, but I don't know if I can speak dwarvish.
What the fuck do you need me for? You can read this then.
all right. Well, bye, Nosdo.
I'm here to kill shit, not read. Come on.
So you continue to make your way up.
I'm gonna stop off first, and I'm gonna talk to Grunt.
Okay.
That's our greeting now. I'm good with animals and stuff, but I'm not so much on the nature. Can you, see if we're walking into any obviously dangerous areas?
Grunt looks up the mountain and then, sort of judging the distance, but just sort of shrugs and is like, yeah, bugger it. She's going to sit down and do the commune with nature.
Okay. Click commune with nature there. Just pop it up on my screen.
You smell the ground.
It's some good shit.
Hey, nature, how you doing?
Oh, it's some dwarf poop.
Hold on.
It's
I must really get with one with nature. Yes, the rocks.
I can basically ask three appropriate questions, three very specific questions regarding things happening in a 3-mile.
Okay.
Well, when I say questions, I want to know terrains, bodies of water, prevalent animals, and influence from other planes.
If I may, if there's dwarven stuff nearby, is it worth checking for buildings? Because they did mention something about when dusk falls, you'll find home. I mean, I know we're not actually looking for dwarves, but if we know where the dwarves are, chances are whatever this mythological place is, it's not going to be near civilization. Otherwise, someone would have found it.
I mean, I know this is a very biased thing to say, but is it likely to assume that any dwarven creations here are likely to be actually embedded in the mountain?
Okay.
Underground?
Let me restate then. We're going to look for bodies of water, since that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, we're looking for the river.
Look for prevalent animals and
And buildings.
And building.
As far as I know, just FYI, dwarves, quite communal, they like to do deals and trade with people, and some can be solitary, but there's usually a civilization around. If we're going to find anything, it's going to be big. I don't think we're going to find a small building with like 3 dwarves in it. And if we are going to find any buildings, they might be empty, just so you know.
But
With
still
the
good
signs
places
that
for us
you
to rest.
saw, just to say this, Nazo, the signs that you saw, it's not indicating of like a greater hold, so it's probably like a small outpost
Yeah.
kept in the
yeah,
mountains.
it could
either
be a
by,
nice
like-
place to take a nap.
Yeah, it could serve as that.
I was
if
thinking
you
like
find it.
watchtowers mainly.
The
Shouldn't be
thing
tough.
as well, I'll say with this for Nazo, just for like his own clarity with it, because it's fair. Dwarf architecture tends not to be a great stone column. It tends more to be a case of we literally just carved out a portion of a mountain and we're still within it. There's no indication from the outside that this is a dwarf hold. Only by like seeing the slits or seeing like assaults or defense coming in would you realize that there's actually something to defend or attack from.
Worth noting with the spell, if it starts to go underground, the spell's
300 feet
range is
only.
going to start going very limited. It's it's more, even though it doesn't say it that way, I imagine it's mostly surface area stuff I'm going to spot better than anything underground.
So to begin with, your 3 questions were body of water, buildings, and
Animals.
Prevalent
Activity of
animals.
Specifically animals or just creatures?
It says specifically animals.
Okay.
Badgers.
Okay. So
Yeah, damn weasels.
Gonna have a chit chat with my spirit of the bear.
as you focus for that time, you just have your palms out, and it's very weird for all of you guys to see Grunt in almost a meditative, in almost like a trance-like state for somebody who's always either like very determinedly in some sort of quiet rage or is aloof almost. But focus in. Grunt, you're aware that there is a water source. It goes into the mountain maybe 1.5 miles up from where you are, and it's from your focus it's off the path as well. It'd be off the path by maybe from where you are you'd have to go maybe 0.5 mile or 1 mile and like 3/4 or so, like between that area, to try and like move up past or over the path and into it to find an actual water source. In regards to animals, excluding, because this is specifically beasts that it's, so animals I'm going to presume as beasts. You're aware of, there is one large, which is primarily in this world seen as an actual natural beast. While there are crag cats that are counted as beasts, there is also 3 miles up. You're aware maybe beyond the clouds that there is nests of rocks.
Oh shit.
Okay.
And then in regards to
Wait, how high up
building,
was that?
Above
from where
clouds.
you
About
basically
3 mile up.
just
Well,
about.
That confirms some suspicions for me then. Air superiority was not a close fight.
What?
It's fitting to get. You said I could detect monstrosities up until about 3 mile above ground, and above that there was basically nothing. I'm just putting pieces
because
together.
because you can only detect up to 3 miles. You can only detect up to 3 miles. You've gone above that now, and now you're above it a little bit.
A roc's nest.
Give you an idea. There's literally just the cutoff, just above, just past the clouds, and nobody fucks with them.
Well, I mean, we are looking for a water source, so should we head to that, or do we think it's going to be higher?
What did we end up finding with buildings?
So with buildings, probably about 1.5 miles up, and following the path will be the best way. It's close to you basically got the first ping of the first time you'll encounter a water source. But again, above it, 1.5 miles up the path, there is about 1 kilometer off the path. There's a point where you can begin accessing a small, I'm not sure the term for a valley on a mountain, in regards to where there is just a small waterfall and there is a flat base for it for a bit. But there's essentially that area, and there is a waterfall in that position, and from there, while you don't know exactly where in that area, you're aware that there are a set of dwarven or buildings that are there. You're identified to it, but you're not, say, proficient with. It's basically like saying, "Oh, there's a cat in this photo," or "There's a snake in this photo," but it's camouflage, so you can't see it. It's my only real way to describe it.
So, where are we starting then? Are we going to go check out
I
the buildings for information?
Grunt
or-
takes off her hands from being on all fours for this meditation, and starts relaying this information. Probably worth noting that you notice there seems to be bear paw prints where her hand just were, just the flavour.
He's got
Yeah,
special
works.
gloves.
Cool.
Commune with nature gloves.
I mean, how far in the day is it? How long has it taken us to get this far?
To take this far, you're only maybe an hour into it currently. You're not yet hitting the point of travel where it'll take you what would take you normally an hour will take 2 hours. You're not to that point yet.
Yeah.
You'll probably get past, after today, you'll be starting to really feel that, but...
Okay, so do we want to find this dwarf place as maybe a safe place to rest? Because aside from that, not really a huge reason to find them, other than to say hello.
If there's anybody even there.
If there's anybody there, so do we want to try and find this place as with the goal of it being a place where we can sleep tonight, or do we just want to keep going? Because even if there is a water source, we were told that the pool we're looking for is at the tallest peak of the mountain, and is described as a waterfall that pours from the clouds. We're barely even halfway up the mountain, so I highly doubt that is the thing we're looking for. I think we need to keep going higher.
Yeah, but if we can check the water source, we can potentially determine from where it's coming from.
Yeah.
The water source coming from the very top of the mountain. This must be coming from that source in some way or another.
Presumably. So that's the choice. I mean,
I suppose the dwarf one is a sensible thing to do because we can always check out the water source afterwards.
okay.
Plus, it'd be hilarious to see Nozda have to interact with some Texas dwarves.
What's Texas?
What's a Texas?
Exactly.
Well,
It's abyssal.
It's an
Hilarious.
axe.
I assume. I mean, just guessing. I'm assuming that they may be somewhat close because there's a water source and there's a waterfall, and the runes literally say the peak of the fall, which is probably a waterfall unless it is just a literal drop. But we're on a mountain, so everywhere is a literal drop. So if we find the waterfall, presumably we'll find the dwarves in some way. It's a riddle. I don't know.
Leave it up to Nozdo because this is for his people. Where are we going, Nozdo? Are we going for the waterfall or are we going to try and find the dwarven place?
The waterfall is the dwarven
I think
place.
the waterfall is the dwarven place.
I thought it was just like a clue for like a sign that would
It's
show.
somewhere around
Well,
that
the-
area,
The
basically.
clue is
Find
when the
one,
sun
you'll-
eclipses the peak of the fall, you will find home. So I assume the waterfall is a clue to finding where it is. So if we want to find the dwarven place, we should go to the waterfall. The waterfall, simultaneously, I assume, flows from this supposed water source.
So we're going to the
Or
same
through it.
location.
Somewhat.
So what was the point in asking me which one I want to go to then?
No, because
I don't know. You asked me.
Let's
Come on, get your
Is that
fucking
if we
game
wanted to
together.
look for them, or if we wanted to just keep going, because neither of them are what we're looking for.
We're going to the same place. There's not a choice.
The choice-
the water
the
source
choice-
and the
the cho-
dwarven place
the
are the
choice-
same. I walk away from Del because she's now doing my head in.
The choice is we keep going up. I said that neither of those things could be what we're looking for, so do we ignore them?
It is a good thing that you live in towns because you would not survive out in the
Well,
wilderness.
it's been made very evident that you can't survive in cities, so it works both ways.
Jesus Christ.
Even the cat just left this fucking argument. I just saw walk out and I just saw walk out and the screen like fuck this.
Why do you
shit.
make everything 10 times more complicated than it has to be? You're such an irritant.
So you continue making your way up.
Yes.
And after another half an hour to 45 minutes of travel, because there are points now where you're getting to where it's actually very, very steep, and you are feeling like there's moments where you are hand over foot, just almost, you're not quite scaling yet, but it's at that point of just angle where you feel like you have to.
If you're warm, Helen, open the curtain a little bit.
So, you continue to move up, and as you do, you begin to you begin moving, and it's starting to get very foggy up here. Like there's a very, very dense fog. You can barely see maybe 10 feet out in front.
Oh, jeez.
So you're keeping closer together as you move along. And as you do, Spook's at the front. Alistair, I need a perception check.
Oh boy.
And who would say be closest to him? Would Grunt be at the front alongside him? Grunt, Grunt, give me either a perception or a survival check, your choice.
Oh, jeez.
That makes a very, very big difference. There's a moment, Alistair, where you're moving along, and just for a second, you feel a vice grip on the back of your neck as Grunt just reaches out and instinctively grabs you. And as it is, your foot keeps moving, and your foot slips down, and you realize that you're at a cliff.
I wouldn't have fallen. Because I have my boots.
Oh, yeah.
Grunt
Thanks, Grunt.
doesn't even blink. Like falling off a cliff would just be like a oh whoopsie. Now we have to.
But here's the thing, the stones around you that do fall as you are there, and there's that moment of, I'm not hearing the bang. That's going for quite a while.
Why are we
And,
not
Great.
moving?
There's
Grunt
a
sort of looks
hole.
down. It's like Grunt sort of looks down, then realizing it's like, oh, that might have been bad even for me.
yeah, that would have fucked you up. Remind the rest.
Well, this could be a peak. Although we can't see the sun setting at the moment.
Can't see
as
the hole
you're-
at the moment.
As you're moving as well, you begin following up the side of this path as you go, and you find a small stone pedestal, and it's got an inscribing in it. But what languages does everyone here read? I think Buckley might be able to read this, but
Whoa, giant.
Speak
Common,
Elvish!
Common,
Common,
Draconic, Celestial, and Infernal.
Speak Elvish.
Buckley, you do read.
Cool. Is it Infernal?
No, it's celestial.
Oh, good, good. God.
Phew.
Otherwise, I was about to go, well, we're fucked.
Get the fuck out of my house!
Celestial says, "You all die."
Yeah, right.
You are all going to
Away!
get fucking. Go away!
Holy
Game
stuff
And a
here.
bunch
Go
of
away.
points.
We do not buy at the door.
My holy
No
eyes
door-to-door
created.
salesman.
No soliciting.
I'm going into the old book.
Oh. Oh,
The
shit.
Bible?
He's not wrong.
No, wait,
Better
wait.
not.
Is it New Testament or Old Testament?
It's my testament.
Oh,
Ah,
It's very Old
so
Testament.
we're fucked.
In the
Yeah, we're
dawn
definitely
of time!
Everyone got very mad and just a bad.
As you're reading, it's a piece of scripture.
Stop taking the piss out of me. At least I'm taking
Iria?
notes.
On the steps of Ira, with the justice and knowledge that is granted by both her and Ayun, do you know what steps you need to take forward to continue your path?
Buckley, I'm going to need you to roll a religion check.
Can you say that again, Mr. DM? Slowly. I'm not a fast typer.
Or
That's
listen.
okay. Following the steps of Viria and using the knowledge of Ayun, you know if your heart is true, the steps you need to take to continue your ascension. But Buckley, it's only fair to give you a religion check with an advantage on this one.
Right.
I'm going to be right back.
Okay.
Oh, only be a second.
Very nice. Virea, Vyrea, is the goddess of justice. And think very much so in the style of the kind of Grecian goddess form of having winged boots and, very kind of like Hermes almost. But Hermes and Athena put together is the only way I can really describe her aesthetic. She was often depicted in any art form, vase, statuette, or something else, leaping.
Oh, joy.
Hey, who wants
Hey, guys,
to do
leave
it
the
first? How about the guy with the winged boots
Who's
does
that?
it?
And we tie a rope to him.
Beyond
I'll hold
the
it.
pedestal is about 10 foot, and then there's just clear face, just straight.
I want to check tracks.
Wanna
See if
check
there's
tracks?
evidence of someone doing a run up.
Yeah,
Okay,
we found
make
him
a
on the
survival
bottom
check.
of a cliff.
I'm back, sorry.
Make a survival check.
Meh.
With the snow that's been building in here, you're not able to actually find any old tracks.
So there's no evidence that I should run and jump off this cliff. This is stupid.
Should do it.
What do the
Well,
gods
you got
know?
boots on, yeah?
You got boots on. You said less than 5 minutes ago, if I had walked off, I would have been fine.
Yeah.
I have the boots on.
If
Quote the Raven.
Thank you.
How much snow is accumulated?
Currently, it's just enough to. It's just enough that it's like the very, very base of your sole of your boots are being taken by it. That's about it. So maybe only like 1 or 2 inches
I know what you're thinking.
just
I
enough to
cast
cover
Burning
80.
Hands.
on the ground.
Yes.
I'm attacking
Okay.
the darkness.
So you cast Burning Hands on the ground, and any tracks that were in that area, along with the now washing away steaming snow, because you've like quite literally just damaged the area to the point of no one will be able to look at a track in it now.
I snuggle up for warmth.
Oh yeah,
It's worth a
take
shot.
Burning hands.
Can I find some snow that hasn't been melted away?
Oh, there's loads around. Go nuts.
I'll scrape a handful and toss it out over the gap to see if it settles on anything.
You toss the snow, and it plummets.
Okay, test number 1.
I lob a snowball at Alistair. Do it, you pussy!
You've got flying boots! Who else is gonna do it?
Alright, fine.
I mean, I'll do it if you want
Um,
to, but if I fall, I fall.
So I was taking a quick bio. So was this information related to the rest of us?
Yes, we've somewhat
Yeah.
worked out what this message is trying to tell us.
Grant, throw Alistair off a cliff.
No.
He can fly, it's fine.
So the path just kind of dead end.
Yeah, it just
Yeah,
comes
it's
to a
literally just
abrupt end.
a sharp end.
Okay, I walk off it.
Funny you should say that, because when you step past the pedestal, your amulet's effects drop.
Oh no!
But you realize this before you take another step forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm really not looking forward to like just jumping off now.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing that somebody tested that.
Jesus.
I'm still willing to jump.
I mean, I'm assuming because it's foggy, not everybody sees.
You don't, none of you, no matter how good your perception is, sees another side.
Fuck it. I ain't gonna be able to play in a few weeks anyway. I run and jump off the cliff.
Take this fucking rope.
Yeah, I suppose actually that's fair.
Take this rope.
Hold on,
I'll take
how-
the other
How
end.
long's the rope?
50 foot, right?
50
Yeah.
foot
I don't want to
Over.
potentially nearly land on something and get yanked back and then just slam into the bottom of a cliff.
Then tie another length to the end of that one.
Then we yeah.
I mean, if it's a 30 foot, well, if it's like a 90 foot cliff and we have a 100 foot rope, it's also useless. Just jump!
I tie 50 feet of rope to me and then I back up to do a running jump.
Are you tying the other end to anything?
I have
Preferably you.
Alright, keep it.
I have one more suggestion. And I whisper something into Alistair's ear. Maybe you should say that.
That's actually pretty fair, alright?
Maybe now's the time. Before you jump!
Remind me what it was again? What do I say?
God.
You have to be specific with these things. It's like magic. What was the words?
You need to say it!
Yeah, what was it?
I walk the path of the gods!
I walk the path of the gods.
I dance their songs!
I dance their songs.
I know her tale!
I know her tale.
I've seen her tears!
I've seen her
And I
tears.
slap him on the butt.
Go!
As you say those words,
I
and
let go of the rope.
Alistair, as you recite those words, and you begin running, as you finish them just as you kick off, and in that moment, Shimmer, you go back to looking like Shimmer. And Alistair, as you leap, you land on solid.
Standing midair.
To everyone else, you look like you're standing midair.
I pick up the rope. I was holding it.
Can I see any land around me, or am I just stood on the air?
You look like you're just stood on air.
Oh,
I
this
try
is-
my feet to see if I can stand on it too, or is it going through?
For one moment you do fall for a second, then you realize no, it's a bit more over here, and then you put your foot on it and it's solid for you. Alistair, from your position, the fog is just starting to fade off enough, and you look down in the ravine, and there's an enormous and massive bone down there, and you can see the skull of
Skull of what?
a dragon.
Oh, good, another one.
There's always a dragon somewhere.
I hope you guys are feeling good, Grunt and Shimmer. It may be time for electric boogaloo.
Can I point out, Shimmer is not golden anymore.
He is
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
And then he reverted back to being...
Oh,
I did,
right.
I asked if we saw it through the fog. I don't know if it came through. on
Oh,
the-
sorry,
I,
yes,
I
sorry.
Asked, I asked, can we actually see that he's changed? Because
Oh,
the fog
sorry,
is-
I thought you had referred to... I thought you would refer to the other side. You could all see him, yes. You could see him revert. You could see him reverting and then reverting.
Meh. I follow Alistair.
Up the hunt.
Really? No one?
I already know.
Grunt
You
equally
already
doesn't.
know.
I've got
So he
more to
changes-
worry about at the moment.
Just
Yeah.
the image of you stood on nothing and me stood on the cliff, just shouting at you, going, "You asshole!"
I'm gonna like get down on all fours and then just
Grunt-
start
Grunt-
like.
I walk
Jiggly.
next to him and judge.
No, I'm gonna
Grunt-
back
Grunt-
up so I can find where the gap is.
Alistair, you spread out for a moment, and there's basically just 5 foot of space,
Okay.
and on both sides, and it is that moment of, like, you take out the bow, and you're just, like, using it forward as, like, a cane to see if you find, like, a bend in it as you go, and you do, at, like, 2 points you find a bend, so you, like, judge again, and you, like, move, and your rope is essentially just being let, hang. So it's just going and it's just following along. So people are able to follow your rope, to follow the path without falling off.
What are you saying, Grunt?
I was going to say that with Dell starting to act up and spook and all that, Grunt's going to get to inside. What's the matter?
How are none of you concerned about this?
I already
Grunt
knew
sides
about that.
again. About what?
Why didn't you? Why didn't? Will?
Well, you did see Shimmer change colors, by the way.
Yeah, but she doesn't necessarily know that that's what.
She doesn't necessarily know, but I'm just clarifying for you that you're aware
Yep.
that you.
Yep.
Because if your character did have a reaction, now.
No. Hold on. We cannot just continue walking like nothing has happened when something has happened.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. A little bit of a technical difficulty that we decided to turn into a quick break to get water and refreshments. So, where we last left off, the party were just beginning to make their way across Aiden's Gaze. So, as you guys are proceeding, Alistair, using his bow out in front of him, is using it like a walking stick and is making sure not to slip off the edge because there is no barrier. This is just a flat. But with the rope that you guys have, you're making sure, all of you, that with the bends of it, as this does go on about 300 feet. And it is just mist that you see in front of you, and it's just faith and being cautious that is guiding you through it. It's 300 feet of your traveling as Delmara is realizing that nobody is addressing this fact. But Delmara, you realize right now that if you don't follow Alistair and Nazdo as they go, you're going to have to try and traverse this yourself. And you don't know how permanent this is.
I imagine we're talking about as we're going.
More of a thing of, we don't know how long this thing is actually going to last. And it's a conversation of, oh, yes, Shimmer just changed colors. What the fuck? Kind of a thing of the stakes present.
Thank you for at least acknowledging what the fuck, because apparently nobody else cares about that. Fine.
Again,
we'll keep
I'd rather
walking.
not fall to my death than discuss about a dragon changing colour.
Fine, we'll keep walking, but we're discussing this when we get to the other side.
That's fine.
I've already got over the culture shock of it.
You told no one.
No, because he asked me not to.
Why?
Because it's clearly very private to him.
Because it's none of your concern.
It's my concern now.
I said that at the time.
I imagine we keep heading across the bridge. Tell
Yes,
us when
we're
we're
walking until
on the other
we-
side.
In Shimmer's
It's about
defense,
300 feet, and Alistair, you're being careful as you go, and you guys eventually. It's almost like a trip and a skip as you get to the end, but you do get back onto solid ground again. And once you're on the other side, and you look back, there for you, once you're across, there is no fog, there is no issue, and you do see a perfect, very, very finely crafted. You're not sure what metal is used, but it is a metal bridge that is all the way across, and all the bends you can now see perfectly from this side.
was there any
And you
secrets?
can, well, you can see that there's definitely been a few people when you look down that have slipped.
What do we see
and-
when we're on the other side?
Once you're on the other side, it's more of the same kind of very narrow, winding paths that continue to traverse upwards. But Alistair, with your perception, with anyone else, Dell and Buckley, when they get across, you do begin hearing the very, very faint sounds of running water.
Running water.
Yeah, and on a very small pedestal carved into the wall on this side, Alistair, you do see, and it's written in Common, Elven, Draconic, and Celestial. Caution and wisdom are important tools in life, but there are points where a leap of faith is required.
It's a shame that leap of faith isn't a stat, because mine would probably be at least a 16.
Okay, and now you're all fully across and on the other side.
So Grunt turns to Dell. It's like, and sign. So what's your problem with him changing colour?
My problem isn't with his colour, my problem is that he was keeping it a secret.
Right? Hang on! Whoa! Whoa!
Yeah,
Hang on.
I know what you're gonna say,
No,
because
no,
you
no,
hit
no,
the
no.
finger on the fucking nail. When I had a secret, it was like the world was fucking ending, and you all shouted at me for days, literally weeks, and it would never speak to me again. But he's got a secret that he's been keeping from us this entire time, and everyone's like, it's fine. No, it's not fine, it's fucking double standards is what it is.
No, 'cause
Your secrets
secret nearly
almost
got
killed us.
His secret is that he's not a gold
Wow, you couldn't have
dragonborn.
timed that
He's
better.
a black dragonborn. Cool.
I'm actually
Your secret
impressed.
got us stabbed.
I'm actually impressed you did that.
Grunt signs all of us, and just looking at her like with a raised eye.
Just me and Shimmer at
Well-
the same time while you're saying just points over, just being like, "Look."
Hey, but the...
Because Grunt's giving you the like, I don't seem to recall having any problem with your secret.
It was before you. Don't worry
You
about
nearly
it.
killed yourself, Grunt. I'm gonna jump through this portal.
Grunt just sighs and signs. He's a dragon. My kin typically, my kin had a massive war with his. The color doesn't matter.
I just reiterated, it's not the colour that's the problem, it's the fact that it was being kept a secret from us,
I
and
mean-
we're all fine with that.
I've
Well,
got terms
to
with
be
it.
fair, and I turn to Shimmer. I'm not judgy, but the color does matter a little bit. It's like saying just because he's a dwarf and he's a drow doesn't mean he's evil and from underground. It kind of does, but there's exceptions. So again,
I don't think it works that way for Dragonborn. I think dragons it does, but Dragonborn I think are a little different, Nosda.
He did for
But even
Dragonborn, it
still,
also works that way a little bit.
I could understand in human settlements across the world being a black dragonborn versus a gold one kinda could be misinterpreted.
Anyway, I've already addressed these kind of questions beforehand when he first was revealed to me.
And you didn't feel inclined to share.
No, because he said it's nothing to worry about, and as he said, if he really was evil and wanted to kill us, he could have done it by now.
That is true.
Because we've had several points where we've all been cut off from each other, and he could quite easily have done something about it. He never has done, so...
Then what's
I mean-
why keep it a secret then? Because clearly nobody cares. So let's
why
just...
do you keep hiding in the shadows despite fists constantly emerging from them? Because you feel safe there. Everyone has their own secrets. If he's not comfortable talking about it, you of all people should understand that he doesn't want to.
Shimmer, can we have a gist so we at least know you're
There
not
are
going to stab
people
us?
that I fear. They will kill me if they find me.
That's good enough.
Okay.
That's understandable. Thank you. Explanations! Rather than, you could have said that several months ago. I think we're
In
past
fact,
the think we're
They
past...
may do worse than just kill me.
I'm also very familiar with that. We're past the time where we could have been, probably when we all got the shit beaten out of us was probably a good time to just be like, hey, I'm in a similar situation, because then it could have been like, okay, we can relate to that, but now we're just going to keep it a secret because nobody needs to know. Probably could have been needing to know
You
because...
don't need to know. The more people that know, the more risk I'm put into.
Well, we know now, so you might as well come fully clean.
Yes, and that's 5 more people that know my secret.
If it makes you
That
feel
can
better, I still
inform
don't
on-
know.
At least you can call this episode Golden is the New Black.
God damn it.
Grunt just sighs heavily and says, she actually says this out loud. I have a secret. You're all children, and I'm getting sick.
If you're going to keep sighing like this, you are going to suffocate.
I'm not a child. I'm 27 years old.
Now that this is
Wow.
over with, can
I'm
we get back
sorry?
to the water, please?
You're a baby. Wow.
27?
You're a
I'm
baby.
27 years old.
You're a-
Correct me if I'm wrong,
You're a fucking
but
baby.
your kind lives to hundreds of years old, right?
120
I mean-
at best.
Half elf,
200 is a very old half elf.
I thought there was 300. Still,
To
you're
be
a child.
fair, to Shimmer, the only child here is Delmara.
I'm possibly one of the oldest people here, thank you.
And yet you
But you're
Although
still a
I-
child of Nevlin years.
That's the
How old
name,
are you, Delmar?
Alright, anyway.
that's the name I was given at birth.
Yes, when you were a child.
Because funnily enough, Alistair, that's when most people get their names, when they're children.
You haven't earned your adult name yet.
What human bullshit is that?
Human bullshit. Humans have the same name throughout their life.
No.
So do
They'll
elves.
Sadly.
No, it wasn't. They have child names, and then when they reach a certain age that they are deemed to be an adult by the rest of society, they are given their adult names.
No.
That's just like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Del, you've never encountered this. If this is a case, it's never happened with you. Not in your life.
Not something I've encountered before.
Hey, Del, if you're going to argue age, how old are you?
Oh! Objection! Just gonna throw that over there.
Yes.
Ah, shit!
Wait, what? Why were you?
Age. Although elves reach physical maturity about the same age as humans, the elven understandings of adulthood goes beyond physical growth to encompass worldly experience. An elf typically claims adulthood and an adult name around the age of 100 and can live to be 750 years old.
Counterpoint, rule 0, DM rule.
Thank you.
He makes...
So I'm not crazy. I did read the book.
Cool. What Nemo just said. The DM just said no.
I was acting upon standard D&D rules.
Okay, then we can retract the statement that you just said and pretend it didn't happen.
You mean like on episode 2 when I said I was going to make null armor for somebody, and I couldn't take that one back, could I, Das? Double standards.
Anyway.
I continue walking.
I don't
I
think
lament.
we're not in character anymore at this point. I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
lament
think
the
this is just
fourth
a
There's a
domestic
distinct
happening.
moment where all your characters have disappeared and you're all just on top of a mountain shouting at each other.
I lament.
Yeah,
I mean, the second the
Grant
book
was-
came out, we weren't in character anymore.
Grant's gonna assign to Shimmer. It's like
If we're going to
I'm
nitpick
going-
the book, then we can continue this conversation because, as everybody knows, in the book it says Dragonborns are shades of red and brown, but everybody ignores that because that's boring.
Fuck you.
Because I'm right.
I was right
Excuse
first.
me?
I mean, gold and black are technically shades. Very, very dark and very, very light shades.
Children, you're moving up the mountain or I'm throwing you all off it.
No, we're not. We're law lawyering.
we're not law lawyering.
Cue the
My
Phoenix
scales are
Rising.
gold, thank you very much.
Objection.
Grant's
I will
while
say
they're
this,
having to
well, for
dispute about
clarity
age.
for all of you, is that even while he was in his golden or in his black draconic form, there were still speckles of gold.
Cool.
I'm out of tea.
Pity about
Oh
it.
no!
Grunt signs to Shimmer as they having this argument about age, etc., and just like I'm going to move. The noise will cause an avalanche.
Right.
I will.
Actually,
I just-
is it
I
so
just
snowy?
continue on.
I'm
Yes,
checking
it's still
for
snowing.
activity on the floor.
There's moments where for the 10 minutes you guys have been talking to each other right now, you do have to shift every now and again because snow just begins, especially on Nosdale, because essentially it gets up to maybe a shoulder height of Alistair, he has to shake it off.
Just walk through it.
It's fast precipitation.
Dig a tunnel.
That's more comedic value, leave me off. Don't be scientific, it's my world. We have a giant metal middle finger somewhere.
It'll stand the test of time.
3 barrels of ale in one night.
Just let it go. just let it go.
It's hard.
Just let it go.
It's hard. How big is this
We climb
mountain
the
really?
mountain.
It's only a model.
That's what I don't even know at this point because I'm not good with numbers.
That's why
That's
I've
what I just grabbed
specifically
Alistair
gone to look it
wherever
up
we
because
pick
I
up
knew
the
you'd be a prick about it.
I check around for activity on the ground. Has anything moved through the area recently?
You.
Snow.
Make a survival check.
Bleh. Less good. I'm not concentrating.
So you begin looking around, and there is no fresh activity on the snow. So you begin moving down to see if there's anything, like, say, closer to the corners, or if there's anything, say, at, like, higher points where, like, say, this ground isn't even. So you're looking for high points where there might be, say, more obvious. And as you're moving, you begin seeing that there are maybe about... As you all continue moving, as you begin moving along the path still, maybe after 5 minutes, and by the way, you're passed without a trace after all of this is gone.
Yeah, that's fair.
You do see that there are very faint footprints, but it's essentially as if, say, there is like a very faint mark on the snow, and it is feline-like. You know, like tracks of cats, and you were able to identify that. But the amount of weight that's being put, like the size of the paw is your head. But the amount of pressure that's being put down seems to be very, very negligible to the point where there's barely even a track.
So quite a light creature.
But big. Well, technically well designed for snow, but that's me getting into biology because I'm into that kind of thing.
It's a snow foof.
You know, like lynxes have really fucking big paws because it distributes their weight more evenly.
You don't even have an adult name yet. Shut up.
Science.
I was talking out of character again. I was talking out of character again. I have, let's see, a +3 in nature.
Excuse me.
Alistair, you're also aware that these are actually the scientific facts that would make sense for a large creature to be built like this.
Don't care. Crag cats.
I was
They're crag
talking.
cats.
I was talking out of character to sort of explain what could be going on here.
It's crag cat. Crag cats were here.
Probably.
And then the snow came. It's Diego from Ice Age.
I know.
You need to get through before the snow pass.
Keep an eye out for the outpost.
See, you can hear them. They're calling. Crack.
So you guys continue moving.
Yeah, we don't know where we're moving to really though, because we've already found the first.
There was a sound of water.
Yeah, I guess we're following that.
Yeah. You guys continue. You use Alistair. Make me another survival check for it, just to keep on track.
Getting worse.
Oh,
This makes it fun.
No.
Failure is entertaining, kids. Success is boring.
that's why we're here.
You guys continue following Alice and find the path, and it takes you maybe the better part of an hour of travel now. And after the ridge, after the leap of faith, you've had to go up maybe another 300 or so feet in travel. Like you're just gauging from yourselves from point to point. And it's only now that you're really beginning to, after the, because you've basically been traveling for about 4 hours now. It's now you're really beginning to have that moment of, oh, okay, air's a little thinner. The only one who doesn't give a shit is the person who has the largest lungs and therefore needs the most air. Sort that lad out. From there,
Got any
Can I
camouflage on that one?
fabricate a
no.
thing of okay.
Technically, the larger lungs do help because they have a larger surface area, so they can get
Yeah,
more
I know, I'm
oxygen
aware.
to you.
Fuck off.
You asked the question, asshole!
It was a rhetorical question.
So, you continue moving, and let's see, who is the highest passive perception? Is Del or is this
I
actually?
believe it's
both of you.
me,
Come here.
25.
22.
Come here.
Oh.
I have a feet.
Hey.
Hi, you're mine. Crack, I teach you, you die. So, very faintly, very, very faintly on the wind, you begin hearing dwarven voices. And you hear the sound of battle. You hear dwarves crying out, "The goblins are surrounding! We need aid! Send down for help, quick!" And the closer you guys move up, eventually everyone else will begin hearing this, so I'll move you back.
Nope, I think they're
For
back.
fuck's sake, Spook.
You're just jealous because my notes actually save people.
Including you.
There's a
Sue.
fight!
Dwarves are fighting.
Goblins.
Without Nosda?
Kill!
How rude.
Yeah, exactly. I imagine at this point Nostos probably ran off.
Now it's just charge up, and eventually now you can begin hearing. And
Going in the right direction.
yeah, he's going in the right direction. He's
Okay.
hearing dwarf voices. He's hearing the skittering sounds of goblins, and the actual sound of combat.
So it went from bubbling stream to murder.
Yes.
Yes, basically.
Grunt shrugs. She
I mean, we
runs
might
in.
as
She
well.
wants to do it.
Nostos already run off.
Grunt, do you want to take the lead on this just on the off chance?
She runs off.
So you all run off together.
No, we do it, otherwise it doesn't count.
Where am I going?
No, just no.
D&D fun times.
Fabricates a bike. I'm
Drives
above
away.
this. I'm above this shit.
So, as you guys continue your travel, you begin seeing a river, like a very small stream that's just got the trickle of water, and you're following that because there's very few steps that go up it. And as you're running, you're still hearing the sound of combat, and it's getting closer, but you're seeing no signs of battle. Like you're seeing no, like, say, clashing or spells or anything like that, or dwarven gunpowder or anything like that's being used. And Nazdo, you're just rushing and rushing and rushing, and I need you to let's see real quick.
Wait a minute.
Russian? I thought it was Polish.
Hey.
What?
No, they're Texan.
G'day, mate.
What? Wait, what?
That's
Australia.
exactly where I wanted it to go.
That's the drow.
Shut up, Crag Cat!
Is Sadie the only reason that you put cats in this campaign?
Every time you want the noise, just squeeze his tail.
No.
Well, to be fair, pick it up, he'll whine.
Nazdo, I need you to make 4 strength saving throws, please.
4.
With
Fucking
disadvantage.
What?
Fucking hell.
With this? Ooh.
What? What's
That's-
going on?
That's rough.
I just happened to think. Remember how they said
Disadvantage.
No. Well, make this the second roll for the disadvantage. There you go.
Okay, that's your first fail.
2.
Success. Well, actually, after the first one, it doesn't matter because I was just it was more a case of they're all going to do it. We'll just see. So, because that is that many of them,
Remember, the dead body said that they copied voices.
Oh yeah.
I'll kill anyone in front of me.
Think about that.
Thanks for the mission.
Oh god, we're so stupid.
yes, you are. I can't believe that actually worked. Holy shit!
I happened to think about that. That's why I was like, now,
Okay,
wait, do we
the
really
thing
run
is-
in?
Sounds of battle are very, very different than voices.
They can perfectly mimic any sound they hear.
Well, that wasn't what we were told.
I mean, we were told about
Like
that.
I said, Grug did shrug and run after thing. I sort of had a
So
thought.
let's see. Do you have heavy armor mastery? I can't recall.
Yeah.
So 14.
Well, all right.
Okay for a fight.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not okay for a fight. It's just
Another tooth for my necklace. This is exactly what I wanted.
we don't even know what the fuck is actually making the noise.
Yeah.
If it's, are we sure that crag cats can?
I don't
mimic?
think crag cats can mimic.
It's whatever it's going to die.
I thought that's what he said when we were looking the thing that crushed its head, and then Grunt did the check.
It looked like a giant mountain cat, but there's no telling if that's exactly what that was. If it was an actual crag cat, or if it was something completely fucking different.
I thought it was Grunt that did the check.
You take
and found
55 points of damage total.
out. Ooh,
Is that reduced by my armor?
That's already been reduced.
Oof.
Alright,
Sheesh.
I'm on
As-
100, so I'm still triple digits.
As you guys just like ahead of you just hear Nazu just scream out as you just hear, there you are.
Ah!
As he's essentially just mobbed, and Grunt, you're the first one who actually gets close to it because there's still a bit of a heavy fog and the snow is in front of you. You see that there's currently 4 enormous mountain lion equivalent creatures, crag cats that you know of, that are just on top of him.
Oh.
One has its maw around his head and is not taking its jaws off. And it's just trying to crush down, and you can just hear the armor just beginning to buckle under it.
Yeah, I
The other
would
ones,
like to rage.
2 of them have grabbed his wrists, and one of them is just on his back trying to tear into the armor.
I would like to rage.
Can I shoot it with my pistol?
You are currently grappled and prone, so no, you cannot.
I will break out that shit whenever I'm able. Fuck off!
Right.
Okay, real quick, I just gotta move them onto the GM layer.
So okay, I guess crag cats mimic. Interesting.
What a lovely wholesome scene. As I'm going to need all of you to roll.
Ooh.
Ooh, interesting.
What are we
Pretty
rolling,
artwork.
sorry?
Initiative.
Oh yeah! Pussy orgy.
Where are we? Because we need our tokens on the map to.
You'll be coming in here. Currently, Grunt's the only one who's following them up close enough.
Why
so
am I-
everyone else, you'll be coming in at the end of this initiative, or at the end of this turn.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh,
So
God
Just a
damn it.
fair bit faster than
So
the
put
dwarf,
yourselves
so...
on. Yeah, put yourselves on. But Grunt will be the first one who actually gets to go this turn, along with Nazdo, and everyone else gets to go the turn after.
I'll fucking have to roll again, but you'll switch me to 14 because I didn't select
yeah,
my
that's
damn thing
fine.
because I forget. I'm at 14, not 21. Fuck you, game!
Okay. Cragcat initiative. Yeah, they didn't have to do much. They've got their own. Oh, that's important. I need to do this initiative too. Where are
Jesus,
you?
what was that?
Goddamn.
That was me.
That was
ripping
the
them
that was the extra cat damage.
Once again, my initiative advantage because me.
Yeah, you got the 11 or 16. That's your higher one, so that's fine. Let's see, real quick. I'm just gonna swap over to battle music while I get everything else ready. So there we go. Classic. Go to that. And oh wait, where are they? Where are they? Let's see. Jam. Bearing in mind right now, folks, you can only see about 5 feet in front of you, 5 to 10 feet in front of you, because there's currently a blizzard. The snow is just from here really crept in, and it's just a blizzard to.
Oh shit.
So let's see now. Damar, you don't get to do anything on this initiative, so I'm just gonna reset this. Alistair, Damar, you don't get to go. It's only Grunt that gets to go now, because Grunt's here, and next initiative you got.
Hit the pussycat.
Also,
I
I
go
would go ahead
first,
of
or-
Shimmer.
So I'll lodge myself in there.
Yeah, you
find
basically
Kitty-
you just rush in your best, currently trying to like separate out the cats that are currently just atop.
since the cat doesn't want to seem to
Dislodge itself.
let go
No.
with its jaw, I'll just try to see if I can dislodge its body from its head.
You can certainly try.
Does
That's
a
a
22
definite
hit?
hit. And you just raise up the hammer of thunderbolts and you strike it down. And in that moment, you watch the pelt refract, and a surge of that energy goes back to you. It only takes 10 damage. You take.
Yeesh.
Take it.
Oh. God, okay.
I
Well,
change
this is
up the
gonna be a
rules
pain
just
in the
a
ass.
little bit of a bit.
Interesting.
I take how much, sorry?
You take 9, not reduced.
Good.
Yep, and I'm doing it again.
Friar.
Okay, this time the damage doesn't go through to you. Instead, that is a very dead cat.
Oh jeez.
You just raise up your hammer and you just
Oh,
bludgeon
okay.
its
That's
head
like
in.
a laser thing. Okay.
The melee refraction is only once a turn. Other refractions are permanent.
It's a
You just watch the first one strikes into its pelt and the energy surges back up into you. And then the second time you just go straight for the cranium. You crush the skull in.
Yep.
This
I
is not the
assume
one
that
on his
effect doesn't
throat.
surprise me.
No, you are aware that they have the ability to send shit back, basically.
Excuse me.
That's your turn. Nazdo, you are still being... That was the one on its back, because that was the closest one to you. The other ones, still there's one on your head, Nazdo, and there's 2 on either of your hands.
I'ma wrestle
So-
the kitty.
Athletics checks with disadvantage.
No problem.
Yeah, shit, fuck.
27? What?
I rolled a natural 20 and it still
Oh,
doesn't
fuck
work.
off.
No, it doesn't work, because it's a skill check. So your roll is still higher than them with a natural
Oh,
20.
thank God, that would have sucked.
Yeah, I always forget the
Yeah,
rule.
skill checks don't
technically
technically
you
crit.
can't crit a skill check.
You can't crit a skill check. You can just... Usually people just presume it works because that's really high, because it's a 20 plus. That means you've basically beaten like an extremely hard challenge difficulty and above.
Yeah.
Yeah,
power
it is
of
a
you
house
compels
rule, but
me.
not in my house.
Not in my house.
He just tucks his head in. No.
Turtling.
Fucking turtles.
It's turtling.
Was that my action?
Yes, your action is to break the grapple, but you basically, the 2 cats, like you manage to roll onto your back as they're holding you. The other one is just like twisted around, almost like crocodile death rolled on you. And that moment, you just tense your neck, the two cats that are like to either arm of you, you just raise your arms and Grunt. You just watch as he basically smacks the cats together.
Right, pussy!
And you just grab the jaw of the one that's on your neck, and you just open it up, keeping your helmet to where the top jaw is, and you just flex your head out. Half your movement to get up if you so choose.
Yeah, I'm gonna get up and... yeah, might as well have me not take 55, so... No, I'm not gonna second win. That's all. We're gonna get ready. I should be fine. Yeah, that's it.
Alright, as the wind is howling, it's now the Crag Cat's turns. I just need to do one quick change. Yeah, no, not your turn yet. After these guys, after these guys and stuff, you get...
You're basically surprised.
It's basically a surprise, yeah.
Yeah. It's more a case of you guys just didn't get there in time. You're on the map, just because it's easier. But you'll be there at the initiative because the cats basically pounced. Grunt was the fastest one to get closest to him because he was already gone before anyone... Let's see, they have a movement of 50. Just gonna go to there. That goes to there. That goes to there. That goes to there. That kitty goes here. This kitty goes there. And this kitty pounces up there. There's a lot of kitties. There's kitties that are very well hidden right now because you're in a fucking blizzard. And the three that are... Yes.
Is the blizzard coming from this direction, or this direction? Or this direction? Or that
The
direction?
blizzard's coming down the mountain.
So it's coming this way.
Yeah, it's coming on top of you currently, yeah.
Cool. Alright.
And just the wind is howling, and I'm just going to move this to... This cat goes to here. This cat goes to here. And the one that was on top of you, and they all just look like they're all just waiting for something with an evil grin on their faces. And Grunt, that's not the wind howling. I need both you and Nazdo to make a constant... Actually, let's see, what's this?
No, keep it in that.
Saving throw for the parry. Saving throw for the parry. As just storming straight up, Constitution saving throw for both of you, please. As just storming through the
spell, is it?
No.
I'm okay.
Grunt, you pull yourself back up to full height, and then you look further up. You see these two red eyes glaring down at. As the Yeti comes in.
Is that a Yeti?
That's a Yeti.
Whoa.
And you both succeed, so you only take. So you take this cold damage, but you don't get paralyzed. So you take 14 points of cold damage. And now, with all of them around, giving each other advantage, they're going to claw. We're going to get 2 claws on Grunt, a bite on Nazdo, and then 2 Yeti attacks on Nazdo. So firstly, the Crag Cats on Grunt. Grunt, what's your AC?
My AC is only 17.
Okay, well, that's 1 natural 20. So you take
It'll be fine.
Yeah,
22 and 13. 22 and 13. You take 35, reduced to half, 17 points of cold damage. And that's a 22. So you take 11 points of damage, reduced to half to 5. Now it's going to be 1 Crag Cat on Nazdo. It's going to try and bite you. And that's a 24.
Oh, my AC! What a villain!
I need a strength saving throw again as it attempts to drag you back down with a grapple.
I use my reaction to smack him because he attacked somebody because Sentinel.
Yeah.
Fuck off, Kitty! Oh, damn it!
That's actually DC 13. You are prone again. You are prone once more, and this time you take 10 points. You take 10 points of bludgeoning damage, Grunt, and Nazdo, you take 8 points of piercing damage, and you take 3 points of cold damage.
Is that 10 or is that 10 then reduced?
You take 10, then reduce. It doesn't get reduced. This damage doesn't get
Yep,
reduced.
sorry.
I take 8 and what, 3?
Yes.
Hello, everybody. My name is Markiplier, and welcome to 2020.
Now the Yeti is going to make its 2 claw attacks on you while you're prone, trying to chomp the shit out of it.
I am gonna be no. Before it does, I have a class feature.
Okay.
Let me just check it.
Oh, Indomitable.
Ah.
You're gonna
Yeah,
attempt to
yeah.
knock me not prone.
Oh yeah, you can use it to re-roll.
Basically, I'm gonna re-roll my save
Go ahead.
not to be knocked prone. I don't want to be laying down on the ground where there's a Yeti looking at me.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's better.
Hey! Indomitable worked!
Hey!
So it tries to pull you down, and you just grab it by the you grab it above the nose with your gauntleted hand, and just yank the mouth back in that split second. Thankfully, the Yeti missed on its first attack anyway.
I refuse.
Yeah, I get it again at next level. Okay.
And
I'm
that's
just
a
checking how many
miss.
times I have it.
The Yeti tries to bash at you twice, but you get your shields up, and basically there's this brief moment where its claws are on the inside of your shield, and there's a brief moment where it's almost yanking it back, but you just ground yourself to have. And yeah, there's that. There's that. Let's see now. I need to check a ruling. Yeah. So I need Buckley, Dell, Alistair, and Shimmer to all make a Constitution saving throw.
Clock.
Constitution, okay.
As while you don't see the full form at this point here, you just see 2 red eyes gleaming down at you as that piercing screech is getting into your. Alistair, you are paralyzed.
Ooh.
Jeez.
Oh,
Ooh.
And you all take 6 points of cold damage. Shimmer, I need it as well off you. This could be very bad.
Nah, we're fine. Hey Grunt, here's a challenge. Kill these things before the rest gets here. Go. Start with the little shit that
fire
keep jumping
break,
on
okay.
me.
You know, Grunt's more of a stand there and take it.
Well,
than-
thankfully it won't get around to his turn for a little bit, but
Don't take hit damage, right?
so fun fact, your ranger and your cleric are paralyzed for a minute, so have fun.
We don't need them.
Shit.
But anyone who has succeeded, you're now immune to this effect for an hour.
Oh, good.
So 6 points of cold damage to all of you. Del, you take it. You take the 6 as well, but you don't get paralyzed. And yeah, we'll move them onto the map. Hi, I'm here. By Alistair. Del.
Oh, there's another. Okay.
Okay. Shit. I guess the shit.
Stop thinking, stop killing!
Mask of the Wild.
Oh yeah, well spotted. Yeah. I mean, I need to be going up here really because I can do fuck all to this guy.
Depends if you're hidden when you stab him.
True. Yeah.
You also have your shadow step.
I do because I think a blizzard classed as dim light.
A blizzard with class as dim light. Yeah. Basically, you're currently in the afternoon and it's blizzard. You're kind of dark.
Okay. Then I will shadow step. I will shadow step. I guess to here. Yeah.
Okay.
And stab him twice.
Go nuts. First strike is with advantage because you are doing your shadowy step out to.
Yes.
You get 1 attack.
Let's see. Yeti. Yeah, that hits the Yeti.
Oh, fantastic.
Don't have the highest AC.
You've used a bonus
Oh
action.
yeah, of course. Thank you for correcting me. What did you say?
But
Gus?
she
Sorry?
does get
That is a
sneak
hit, and you do get your sneakies.
Sweet.
Waft. Do you use your dagger's venom while you're at it?
Yes.
Okay, so you can make a
Because
con
no
save.
sense in saving it. It won't last forever. DC 15.
All right.
This is
They're
the
toughies, but they're not massively tough, so we'll see.
this is the
Uh,
leftover venom from the Underdark.
All right, so using the drow poison, is it?
Well, I assume I have to use the drow poison.
Yeah,
before I use
because
the-
it was the one you had it coated on it.
It's
Yes.
coated, so I assume I have to use up the drow poison before I use the regular stuff. Besides, the regular stuff
Okay.
is kind of shit.
So, what's the damage on it? Is it a half damage on success? Is it? And not because you need to roll your damage dice anyway. He's succeeding, but
save
he takes
effect is
damage.
half damage on a successful save. It's a
Yeah,
DC
he's
15.
going to take half damage of this. He rolled 21. He got 21 total. So I need your damage dice roll, please. So that's 20. Woofed. So he takes 10 of that. And he's not paralyzed. So that's 38 points of damage on one hit.
And
Yikes.
now I can delete that because that was only a one-time use.
Also, Shimmer, you need to do a con check.
Shimmer, you
con
take
save.
6 points of cold damage, and I need a con check off you, please.
76. I feel like 20's a really meh roll for 76.
Hover over it.
Below average.
Con save or con check?
Save.
Con save.
Wow, nice.
You take the 6, but you do not get paralyzed. As you just look to the sides of you currently, and there's Buckley and Alistair both frozen in place. Pardon the
With a
pun.
bit of pee trickling.
Yeah, at least
Only a
that's one.
slight bit of pee trickling. And-
Yeah, right?
Oh, I need to add the Yetis now onto the initiative because they were waiting until the end of the turn. So let me just add them. They go on initiative. Okay, that's where the Yetis are. So, Nazdo. Let's wait, hang on. It's not Nazdo. I'm looking at something else. Del, that's all your.
Yeah, that's my turn.
Grunt.
All right.
There are many
I'm-
Chunguses around you.
Is it Chungus among us? I'm going to smack the one I smacked with the reaction thing
Smack him again. Go ahead.
with big hammer.
It's.
Does a 32
Grunt-
hit?
Yes,
Uh,
and
just.
it happened on its turn, so it's at the end of the turn to get back reactions. So he would be able to react to this again. So he only takes 9 and you take 9.
Do I have any healing potions?
I would hope so.
I don't think I do.
That's your first hit. It's still up.
No, I don't.
I feel like we spent ages distributing healing potions
I'm
and after
sure
you
we
several
did.
Yeah, I didn't
times.
want
if
any-
you want-
Grunt, you're busy hitting people.
I know. I'll
It's
hit
still
the
up, but
kitty.
you smacked him really hard. And now it's dead. It seems like they can only react to melee attacks once a yeah, so that's 2 dead, and that's your turn. Nazdo, there's a fucking
I
Yeti
reach
in
the-
front.
Can I reach the kitties or can I only reach the Yeti?
You could reach the kitties or the Yeti. The choice is yours.
Nah,
Who are you aiming
fuck
at?
that Yeti.
You gonna fuck up the Yeti?
Oh, I'm gonna fuck up the Yeti.
Try to
Before
fuck up
I
the Yeti.
fuck up the Yeti, just as a precaution, I'm gonna second wind.
Okay, that's
no,
fair.
I'm not.
Good
No, I
idea.
will not. I will not second wind.
Really?
Yeah. Fuck the Yeti.
I mean, well, whatever. It's your choice. Go ahead, go nuts.
Bone hammer. 1.
You have the you do this as well. That is a hit, and that is 8.
2. That's a 2. Cute.
It's 11 points of damage.
Do I have?
You've
Okay.
3 attacks currently because
And
you're
third
that high
one.
level.
Oh,
Nice.
Nice. How much is that now? That's 2. That's 15. That's 17. It's
And
still up,
3
but you
more attacks.
battered him. You got action surge?
yeah.
Okay. Fun fact: the Yeti's dead after that second crit.
Cool.
Nice.
Kitty time.
You batter its knees in, and you just force it. The first 2 strikes, you batter its knees in. The third strike, you get it in the gut, and there's that moment where you actually feel your bone hammer dig into the flesh of it, and you yank it forward, and its massive horned head falls down in front of you, like these are kind of like curved backed horns with these very produced, almost orcish like tusks to the front, and these piercing red eyes to the face, very apish, but very not of this world. And with that third strike, you just crack it in the skull, and it just crumples to the ground dead.
I'm going to drop the bone hammer
Yeah.
and use the fucking sword that I just remembered I got for the kitties. Shit. So that's kitty on the left.
That is a hit.
Julius damages on that. 10.
Okay, you take 5 of that damage, and they only take 5. Or they take 7, excuse me, because the duelist doesn't count, because it's only damage from the weapons that are getting reflected back. So you take 5 points back. It takes only 5 of that and 7 from the duelist.
Full 5 or reduced by heavy armor?
No, this isn't reduced. It's not reduced by Grunt, it's not reduced by you. It's just straight
No
up
problem.
reactive damage.
It's
see,
still
what's
up,
that
I
down?
presume?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, this time you don't take any damage back. It's still... I think that's all your
That
attacks.
is all attacks I have.
Yeah, you've done your 6. You can still second wind.
No, because if I do, what's it called? I use up my bonus action to do it.
No, action surge doesn't take your bonus action.
Oh, my crit range. Hang on, let me just check. Really. None of them. Alright, fuck it. Second win then.
Yeah, no, action surge is something free from bonus actions. It's just something you can declare you're doing.
Oh!
That's helpful.
Ignore the duelist, but yeah.
You punch yourself to heal. Ha! Yeah, you heal for fucking hell. That's a full 10 plus 12. Nice.
Nice.
Fucking nice. See, that Yeti's dead. It's now this Yeti's turn. It really doesn't like you, Del, so it's going to try to claw the fuck.
Cool. Disadvantage.
Okay, well, this is, yeah. So that's an 11
No.
and a 21.
Shit. Yeah.
It just swings up with the claw at you. You take 16 points of damage, 6 of which is cold. It just slashes you across the face.
Yeah. I'll uncanny dodge. Halve it.
Okay, so you only take 8 points of damage. And then the Yeti is going to try to pull away from you back into the... Because it's reeling after your strike. It did not expect you
It
to
can
do
do
this.
so because I used my reaction.
What did you use your reactions?
Uncanny dodge.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant from before. I was like,
Buckley, your turn passes uneventfully. I will say this as well for clarity. You guys don't see the Yeti after it goes past this point. Unless you're within 5 to 10 feet of a creature, you're not seeing it. The frost and the blizzard is currently set in so heavy that you can't really see beyond. Shimmer.
Oh, I can't even.
Sorry,
oh.
typing.
Yeah, you're paralyzed. You just...
Okay. I am going to Scorching Ray.
Anything you try to scorch your ray is at disadvantage because you cannot see the fucking things.
Okay.
You have to get closer or do something.
So it's a range thing. It's
Can I move up to there, or is that blocking terrain?
You can move up it. It'll take instead of taking 5 feet, it'll take 10 feet to get up it. But yeah,
Okay, so I move up to there. Can I see things now?
barely. They have like +5 to their AC because they're heavily obscured.
Okay, I tried a Scorching Ray them.
Okay.
Said 5 foot, so you can basically see the squares surrounding your token, and that's sort of it.
Yeah, that's kind of it, really. You're going to try and scorching ray the cats then?
You can hear stuff, so we know the vague direction.
Yeah, you know the vague direction. So you're going to scorching ray?
I mean, I kind of want a fireball.
Do it.
But the thing is, you have no idea where your friends are, so...
he also
Do
doesn't
it
care.
anyway.
I
when
mean, they're
when has
tanky.
that ever stopped him?
I mean, to be fair, I try not to harm my allies.
Nah, it's alright. Just do a fireball and prove to us that you're also trying to kill us and you're actually an evil black dragon. What?
Yeah, it'll do
You can't prove that.
It'll do you loads of favors.
I
What
don't
do you
mind
do,
that.
Shimmer? I'm putting you on a timer.
Yeah, I want to try Scorching Ray the cat.
Okay. This is still at disadvantage because of how far away you are from it.
That 3.
At second level, yes.
Okay.
Yeesh.
Okay, the second one hits, and the first one
You've got a 1 in
definitely
there that
does
you can
something.
reroll.
Let's see.
That's just-
I just need to make a quick check.
That's 11.
Yes, I was looking for that.
Yeah. So, the first ray, you fire out all 3 rays together and they blast out. The first and the third ray come back at you.
Oh.
I need 2 dexterity saving throws.
I can do that. Normal or disadvantage?
Normal. First one fails, second one succeeds. DC is 13 for these. So you take, and bear in mind, I know you have resistance, but this is your fire, so it's full damage. You take the 13 fire, and you take the 7 fire because you managed to dodge a bit of it. As the pelts reflected back, but the middle attack did hit it. Did successfully hit it. Anything that misses on these guys really is painful for.
So that's 17 total damage?
To you, yes. Actually, no, that would be
20.
let's see, 7, 20. That'd be 20 total damage to you.
That
7
makes
plus
math
13.
easier.
And yeah, that cat's rough, but it's still up. That cat's very fucking rough.
Yeah, that's my turn.
Okay, at the end of your turn, you guys hear this enormous roar bellow out across the snow. Deep and guttural. And from where you are, Del, you didn't see them at the time, but you're looking around, and you're seeing a lot of cragcat eyes. These piercing yellow eyes are in the blizzard. You see 4 sets here. And they all turn and look away up towards where the Yeti ran away from you. And that shout wasn't from that Yeti. And all these cragcats that you're like seeing the peripherals of just begin bolting.
Great!
So that's going to be all of these guys.
Something worse is coming.
Ow.
And these 2 cragcats here are also
Sounds
going to
fun.
try to run.
But where are you going?
Going to try to run. Whoever wants to strike the one that was most injured first, go ahead.
Probably Nosdo, because he's.
Nah, it's dead.
You got there first.
I'll
do the other one.
You will take. No, actually, you won't because this one's done enough refracting.
The
on its
injured
turn.
one, yeah, I've
The
twanted.
injured one is that. The other one hasn't taken anything, so Nazda, when you swing at it, you're going to take damage back. So go ahead.
No problem. Dead.
It's not dead. Do you have Sentinel?
I do not know. Well,
No,
no,
okay.
I don't.
You take 17. You take 8 points of damage back to you.
Oh, hang on. Fuck, it's this stupid sword. I literally just wanted to look this up. When I crit, something happens. I can't remember what though. Although I'm not sure it's...
Secret.
Yeah, it's not relevant in this case. Never mind.
I don't actually know what it does.
It's like the Speaker of Truth. Fuck, I can't remember what it was. I'm sure it had a special crit effect that I never wrote down.
Okay, so those 2 have ran off. The one that could run off has. I'm just going to put it on the GM line. And the Yeti is still running. And Alistair, your turn passes. Delmar.
Right.
Because you're a champion.
Oh,
right?
excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to both Alistair and Buckley. You would have gotten to make another Constitution saving throw.
That's what I was trying.
I
So I
thought
was
they were
like,
just
what
really
the fuck?
powerful. I was like, well, fuck.
We're at that, this is like we're at that level when sometimes bullshit like that happens.
Well,
Buckley's like, yes, finally! Fuck!
Alistair, you get to make one too.
It's Pikachu!
Alistair, you are at the end of your turn, freed of it. So that would have been last turn.
Hey.
Oh, sweet.
So now you get to go.
Is there anything I can do to recover someone from paralysis?
I don't think it does unless you
No.
unless you
Well, if
specifically
you had lesser
have,
restoration, sure.
yeah, lesser resto or a specific poison.
Ah.
That doesn't a potion even. Poison.
Okay, I need to remember this. As a reaction, I get to twat something when it hits me. Kind of important.
Bit important, yeah. I'm not going to remind you guys, you're level 12 and 13.
Yeah. I forgot I have the source to begin
Sanji,
with, so it's fine.
What are you?
He's fine.
Fire.
He just hasn't put. He hasn't played.
Oh, no, I know he's
as
a fighter.
much as
I
we
meant-
have.
Champion or?
Yes.
Champion.
I'm gonna move up to there.
Oh, okay.
5 feet to get up, or 10 feet to get up, excuse me.
Difficult terrain?
That small spaces, yeah.
He
The
doesn't
steps
care.
are. The steps are. Oh, yeah, you don't care about difficult terrain. I'm used to not having rangers in my parties, okay?
What do you mean you're used to not having rangers in your party? We're like your
How
main
often do you run
campaign.
this where difficult terrain comes into effect?
We're the only campaign you DM at the moment.
Slightly
I have
different.
had long chances of people
It's
who
okay,
had
hon.
to suffer difficult
It's okay, hun. We love you.
Right, I
I'm
need
going
to write this
Your
down.
shit.
I'm gonna ready an attack for if I see something come through the distance. Because at the moment I can't see anything.
You basically at present can see fuck all. Let's see. Make a perception check actually, just to see if you can see anything out into the things. It's going to be a high DC, but
Stranger things have happened.
Indeed.
I see trees of white.
You said see red roses too?
As in a bloom for me and you. What you see out in the fog may be. How far away would this be from you? Just about barely. You can barely, and you only do this because you actually recognize detailing. Probably about another 30 feet past Nosdo and Grunt or further, you just see like a silhouette, blackened silhouette, these piercing, roughly about there, piercing yellow eyes, and you can see antlers rising up from a humanoid frame.
It's a Deerclops.
Last time I remember something
like him.
relentless fucked you up pretty badly.
Oh yeah. Does he have a bag? I don't like bags.
The legend.
Election. Oh no.
I don't right against election.
Right.
I
okay.
ended up defeating it, but anyway.
I did do it, but it was hard.
Lol.
Eh!
So you can barely see that, but that's basically the end of your turn. Just so let's see who's next because I was looking at something. Del.
Me. I'm going to move up here because I can't really see much. So I'm just gonna go up here. I'll stop there. I will use my bonus action to hide, and because I'm a wood elf, I can use Mask of the Wild and just hide in the snow.
You just Alistair, about 10 feet out in front of you, you just see Del just plant.
Just trip.
No, because
I'm hiding.
because I'm
Currently
wearing,
with the
cause I'm
with
wearing
the
all
amount of-
black. I have to roll in the snow. So I roll in the snow.
because of how deep the snow, because the snow is basically set in heavily right now. It's not at difficult terrain levels yet, but you are, making efforts as you go. She can just like dive, and her thin form just there's very little of her and plenty of snow to hide in.
I am obscured.
Grunt.
I will hold as a. That was my bonus action. I will hold my action to throw a knife if I see a target.
Can me and Grunt see the piercing eyes of the live Yeti?
No.
So we can't see anything effectively.
Basically, right now, you can just see each other and the piles of bodies.
Luke,
Well,
We're gonna have to cut him up, and we're gonna need somewhere to warm to stay for the night.
I thought they smelt bad on the outside.
no, you're right.
So yeah, just to clarify, we can't see this Yeti at all. Like, we don't know he's there.
Yeah, sure, yeah, it's a Yeti, you don't.
All I know is there's meat on the menu.
You're the meat.
He's back on the menu, boys.
Alright, I suppose I'll hold my action until something comes near, I suppose. I can see something. As I can't see anything, I'll just stand here, look.
You just look around menacingly. Let's see. Does anyone take an action then in the next bit? Because we can technically not do a combat if it's the case of you guys are just like waiting.
I'm gonna break off a couple of teeth of the Yeti and a kitty for Ali.
Okay.
Give me that.
I think Buckley would like to make another Constitution saving throw.
Yes, Buckley, you can do so.
More than a 10. More than a
DC
10.
13.
Oh my
Right. Fuck's sake.
How long's it been? 20 seconds?
Also, I'm also gonna ready my attack if anything does come. Hold steady with grunt, back to back. Make
You're
sure we
busy
don't get
yanking
surprised
teeth out,
again.
motherfucker.
That is your action.
Back to back, I think you mean back to lower calf.
Yeah, but sorry, back to harass.
Back to us.
Stands between the legs.
Oh,
Head brushing the
whoa.
gooch.
Yep.
Make another one at this point, by the
Hey! There are other numbers!
Fuck it, who cares? I'm out.
Look, I'm just saying,
I'm going home.
the guy in nothing but robes is crits that save. The guy in plate armor just like can't make it for the life.
The armor's cold, it makes it harder.
Again, my casting ability is wisdom. Con, not that great.
But you're a cleric.
And
That's what it's gonna do.
You're like the secondary tank.
If anyone else gets that bloody necklace thing you've got, it's gotta go to Buckley second.
Let's see.
up here.
Alistair, you just see the creature reach up and just like grab the stonework next to it, silhouette does. And in that moment, you see it just putting a palm down to the ground. And I need, let's see,
Nah, shit.
all of you to make a dexterity saving
That doesn't sound good.
No,
as the ground underneath you all begins to quake.
woohoo!
If you are subjected to an effect that allows you to make a moving through to take only half. Is there any damage?
We'll find out in a minute.
Fuck.
Hey!
Alright, well, I can't add my shield to it.
Let's see. Well, that's a single target attack as well. Not an AoE.
I take it it's not a spell? Oh, is it a spell?
Mm, It is a spell, actually, yes.
So she gets
Okay, then I get
advantage.
advantage.
Hey.
Anything under 20 failed.
Oh, fuck!
Yeah, DC 20. And anyone who failed falls as the ground underneath you begins shaking.
Oh shit.
And it does so for about 100 feet around you at all sides.
This is my mountain.
Nah, bitch, I'm claiming it now. Do you have a
And
flag?
you all begin hearing a very deep rumbling from above you on the mountainside. As you look up at the snow that's starting to go down at you. And that's where we're ending the session.
Ah, shit. I was going to
Aw.
come in and go, I'm about to ruin this man's whole career.
I wouldn't have fireballed the snow.
A very small
I got
pocket.
knocked prone.
Yes. So currently, Nosdo. I'm grabbing the Nosdo. Who else failed? Buckley failed. Buckley's on his bottom, and Shimmer is on his bottom. As essentially, there's an avalanche coming this way.
Honestly, I kind of planned on making an avalanche myself.
Don't worry, guys. I have a plan.
I'd love it if Shimmer just got up and just went, wall of fire! And just in circles. I got this.
I
Funny
don't
enough,
have
that
wall of
probably wasn't
fire.
too
Yeah,
far
but
off
he
the
does.
Oh, he does. Ah.
Naren has wall of fire. Hello, barricade.
We're at a very fiery party.
Yeah.
Forge and
How?
flame.
Well, it also is one of my spells from being
It's been
forced to
forged
be
to
cleric.
me.
So with that, folks, we're going to end the session.
Cool. We're gonna get snowed in next week,
Yeah.
or become
Edward Snowden?
very toasty.
I don't have a third wind. Help me.
Cool.
So it's
And I ain't got shit for this.
If one thing I never thought to hear about Nazdo is that he didn't have enough wind.
I mean,
sorry,
I know
just taking
what
some
I'm
measurements
doing.
up for construction later.
Beans!
Cool. I guess we'll see what happens next week then. I foresee fire in our future.
Yeah, be alright.
Dream.
Fire is always in our future.
And funnily enough, Alistair, I may as well show it to you, just to refresh you on what it actually is. This is the silhouette you see. Just let me know if it popped up or not.
What is it?
Nothing.
Nope, hang on. I need to do a quick edit then. Let's edit that, and now let's see if I can show it to players. Yes, I can. Wonderful.
Ah, that's one of
Oh.
those bastards again!
It's another one!
What is it?
Ah, these fuckers!
Oh, that's
Danish
not good.
cohort.
That's not good.
No, it's not.
Is it a Danish pastry?
It's very
Yes.
bad. No, it's
Oh,
not good.
we've killed one before.
With
To be
Rick.
fair, it was a much lower level when you guys fought the last one.
Is it the same one?
Can't be.
Hang on, you said I saw two eyes.
You did.
Ah.
Well, he has said that you see the silhouette.
Yeah, but he also said that I saw two eyes.
Yeah, you did
From
see
the-
two eyes.
Two eyes.
Hmm.
The last one had three, this one has two. There is a difference. There is a deliberate difference. That's just the only icon I have.
Yeah,
So fuck
This
it,
is
you're doing it.
brother.
Okay.
yeah you see.
And on that bombshell, I'll see you next time.
Woo!